Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. And first off and foremost, I know, I'm sorry, I am once again on the late train to this party with the maintenance coming out later tonight. So I do apologize for being late on it, but that is what this video is going to be about, is the upcoming maintenance for Global for the goddess Celia, which is the new light ascended unit. And without further ado, we're gonna get right into it. First off, I would like to say how happy I am to see us having some sort of progression in the story and some sort of filler between now and when Fate comes out, hopefully. You know, you gotta remember, boys, stay strong. Fate's right around the corner, so save those crystals. But I am happy that we are getting a progression in the story, and I'm happy to see Goddess Celia on the board finally. And the maintenance itself is just bringing chapter 25 and Goddess Celia herself to the game. There isn't really anything else much to it. I mean, she gets a deluxe Alch summon, which we'll be going over later on in the video. But other than that, yeah, it's just basic login rewards, her banner, her true weapon banner, and then obviously special art that's coming out as well. And so that's pretty much it for the maintenance though. That's all it kind of has in terms of content. So I had planned to talk about Celia's kit before we got into the Alch banner, but I think I'm going to jump right into the Alch banner. So the Alch banner overall, in my opinion, is actually, believe it or not a horrible Alch banner. I mean, you have another ascended unit on there, you know, NF Mira. You have Miranda, light Miranda, so like the taunt tank, that is really good. You have Sonji, which is really good for nukes. You have D Celia on there, which is, I wish they would buff her kind of state because she's been out for so long. There's so many iterations of her. Just buff her already, please. Not every Alch banner out there is going to have Heart or Emperor on it. Sometimes we just gotta take the W when we can, and this Alch banner is just not a bad Alch banner, to be honest. So I'd say it is definitely worth throwing 1, 2, or maybe even 3 attempts at this banner as a whole, especially if you are missing some of the more important characters on here, like Ben or Miranda, or if you need a good archgen like Rosetta is, or if you don't have NF Mira like I don't, and you wanted to get her for mono fire, now's your chance. So I'd say it's worth a few summons on, but don't go too deep on it. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for, the showcase unit herself, Goddess Celia. She is a light human with a 5 to 6 star attack equip slot, a 5-star defense equip slot, and then a 4-star defense equip slot that can be changed into a 4-star support slot if you LB7 her. In terms of LB7 her, she, I think, is only worth an LB7 if you seriously plan on consistently using her for almost every piece of content. Like if you love this character and you know you're going to be using her often, then yes, I'd say it's worth an LB7. But if you want her because she's cool, but you don't really have the equipment or the units to make her shine as bright as she could, or maybe you just like her as like a unit but don't really plan on using her that much, I would say she's definitely not worth LB6 or 7, to be honest. In terms of her kit though, her skill is a 10-second cooldown, does 3000% light damage physical, summons a kin, which is like a little ghost thing, with 1000 HP with a maximum of 4 of them on the field at once. Summoned kins will redirect all damage taken by Goddess Celia to themselves. So basically they cover her, right? So if they give an example in here somewhere, but say you have all 4 of them out and the boss does 5000 flat damage to you, your ghosts will all die and Celia will take 1000 damage herself. Her arts does 20,000% light damage physical, increases all humans' allies' art gauge by 30 for 20 seconds, reduces enemies' light resistance by 30%. Her true arts does 60,000% light damage physical, summons 4 kin with 1000 HP with a maximum of 4. Summoned kins will redirect all damage taken by Goddess Celia to themselves. So this is her true arts is basically just using her skill 4 times, so it just kind of skips having to use that a bunch. Her super arts does 160,000% damage physical. It sacrifices all kins and increases own crit rate by 100% for the duration of the super arts, and own super crit rate by 20% times the number of kins sacrificed from current super arts, with a maximum of 80% super crit damage for the duration of super arts. Meaning if you have all 4 of them on the field, she has a 80% super crit chance, which means she would be the unit with the highest amount of super crit rate in the game as of right now in both JP and in global. Her passives: for each kin killed or sacrificed throughout battle, increases own damage by 30% with a maximum of 600%. I'm assuming this is permanent because it doesn't say anything about temporary or anything like that. So I'm assuming this is permanent. It does not stack with abilities of the same name, obviously. When HP is above 90%, increases own arts gauge by 5 a second permanently. Increases own heal amount by 10%. In terms of her kit, she is very good for sustain. Like, she's outrageously good for a sustain mission, team, comp, whatever you want to call it. In terms of nuking, she's okay. Her super arts only having, the potential to not have any crit rate or super crit rate at all, or maybe only having 20% super crit rate if you really are just nuking, kind of makes her nuking potential a little bit less or so, but she does still get 100% crit rate regardless of how many kins are sacrificed during her super arts. So it's not a horrible thing to have her as a nuker, but I would mainly use her on sustain only. Shangri-La is a 5-star physical, and the skill is a 50-second cooldown, does 12,000% light damage physical. If the user is light, for 10 seconds reduce enemies damage res by 20%. If the user is light and above 80% HP, reduces enemies damage res by 35% instead. So pretty solid damage res down. So I'd say it's a pretty good true weapon. The passive on it is when equipped by Goddess Celia, increases own damage and skill CT speed by 30%, does not stack with abilities of the same name, and increases own crit damage by 20%. So her true weapon is, I'm going to be honest, a must-have on her. In terms of things that I could see for Crest, I immediately, when I saw her kit, thought skill CT. Skill CT on top of the skill CT passive from her true weapon, you'll be popping out ghosts super fast, or kins, whatever you want to call them, because maybe you don't have the arch gen to get her to her true arts immediately, which just summons all 4 of them for you, or maybe you use all 4 of them and you want to quickly just pump out as many of them as you possibly can for her passive, because the more of them that come on the field and die, the stronger she gets. So it's like you just want to be able to pump out as many of them as physically possible. So I thought the skill CT as a Crest as soon as I saw her thing, so I'm glad that her true weapon kind of complements that. And that's basically it. That's pretty much it for the maintenance. It doesn't really bring too much. It just brings new chapter, new unit, standard, nothing else extra. So I will flash her special art on the screen right now, but I want to thank all of you for watching the video, making it this far. Be sure to leave a like, comment, maybe even subscribe. It is free and it helps the channel. Check out the Discord. We're partnered with a bunch of other Discords that play GS2, so you'll be able to join a really nice growing community. Without yapping your ear off any further, I will see you all in the next one. Later.